What is going on, Tribe, and welcome back to another Galaxy of Heroes video with me, your bald-headed boy, Scribe. How you all doing, ladies and gentlemen? I'm sure you're all super excited to be unlocking the new Dark Side Vision Rey, who's coming as the next Conquest unit. Conquest starts Monday. We have already got data mined showing the feats that we need to have, and I'm here just to break it down and put your minds at ease. It's not so bad. Let's go. Coming up and starting off with the Sector 1 feats. In total, you can get 30 key cards. Those of you that don't know, as you progress Conquest, you need to get up to 630 key cards. You've got a margin of about 32 key cards that you can drop in order to red box. If you're looking for gold box, you need slightly less. Can't remember the exact number off the top of my head, but only red box exists in our brains because we're winners. Am I right? Okay, so let's see. Sector 1 feats, we have got a set of 4 that you do as you progress through the sector. These are worth 5 key cards each. So starting off then, we've got attempt to inflict critical damage down 50 times. Now I know that Dash Rendar is a fantastic use of this particular debuff. He does it on his second special. That is an AoE critical damage down, and it is irresistible. Not that the resistible part matters, because we only have to attempt to inflict it. But using characters like Dash, I believe that Bastila Shan Fallen has it on her Fear special, and of course Padawan Obi-Wan does have it on his Omicron, but I will never ever recommend that. There are a couple of other characters that can do it, like GL Leia. I believe Saw does it with his explosive traps, but the most reliable one in my experience off the top of my head is going to be Dash Rendar. Next up, we need to win 10 battles with Morgan Elsbeth surviving. Now this may seem like a bit of a tricky feat, but if you've obviously got the investment, this will not be a problem. If you don't have the investment, I recommend coming back to the start of Sector 1. Once you've got a full cadre of data discs, farm that bonus node to unlock your datacrons using teams like Beskar Armor Mando leadership with Dash, Han, Chewie, and all that sort of good business. Anything that's going to get you a turn at the start of battle and lets you clear the field before the enemy gets a turn will help you with this feat. The same goes for a full squad of mercenaries. Now we do have a lot of mercenaries in the game at this point. Unfortunately, the only one that is a true mercenary leader is going to be Baylan Skoll, and most people will not have him unlocked. However, much of the Bounty Hunter faction also has that mercenary tag, so I'm confident we will be able to make this work. Sector 1 battles are the easiest. Next up, we've got attempt to inflict or gain blight 40 times. Even if you do not have very solid investments in your Peridia Patrol characters, this should be a relatively easy one. Go in with Captain Enoch, better if you do have the Zetas on this character, with the 2 troopers, I'm talking Night Trooper and Death Trooper Peridia, and go against enemies like Mon Mothma, Geonosians, that sort of thing. As they are attacking you and defeating you, it is going to automatically apply that blight to the enemy team, essentially. Same with getting that decay. It will work organically. Now, you will also get it whenever Night Trooper does a basic, which is really useful, so this one should not be too bad. I am confident we'll be able to find a cheese for this one, probably with like droidicas, maybe with Kylo Ren unmasked. Not too bad. Next up, we have the mid-sector boss. The boss halfway through the map here. We've got defeat an enemy with Death Trooper Peridia. Now, we can usually make this work if there are things like Amplify Agni and Volatile Accelerator. If not, you're going to have to rely on calling to assist. Fortunately, Death Trooper Peridia does do a quite significant amount of damage, and you'll want to invest in the Peridia Patrol characters just for their assault metal. Anyway, do recommend that. Next up, we need to win without using any attacker units. Unfortunately, Death Trooper Peridia is an attacker type, so we're going to have to swap that out. Now, not using attackers isn't too bad in general. If you've got Jedi Master Luke, for example, you can go in with a full squad of Jedi that are either tanks or support types or healer types and easily get a win that way. Alternatively, you can go in with characters like Imperial Troopers and use a whole bunch of support. You just can't use the likes of Dark Trooper. Next up, we do have the boss node. We need to win with Luthen Rail in your squad. You do not need him to survive, he just needs to be there. Yes, he was a previous Conquest unit. Thankfully, this is an early one, so there's not many keycards to earn here. You can quite satisfactorily just skip this feat if you do not have him at all unlocked. Next up, win with Marok surviving. We'll take the same thread that we took here with the Morgan Elsbeth surviving ones. Marok is a new unit. Fortunately, you can usually beat these early sectors with a lot of upfront damage and any teams that attack first, even if you've got a low gear Marok. Now, I don't know what the bosses are yet, so I can't fully contemplate, but trust me, I will have video guides showing how to get all of these feats done. Let's go on to Sector 2. Same as Sector 1 then, we can earn an additional 30 cards in Sector 2. The first 4 feats then, we need to gain Potency up 50 times. As we know, thanks to this brand new raid, Kit Fisto the Jedi does actually do an AoE potency up to his entire team. That's a very easy way of getting it done. Throw him in with the likes of Grandmaster Yoda, or throw him in with the likes of maybe old Ben Kenobi. We also have characters like Tech, Admiral Raddus, Bodhi Rook, C-3PO, lots of options for potency up. I'm confident we can get that done very, very quickly. Next up, win 10 battles with the Great Mother surviving. The Great Mothers are a brand new Cantina unit. They are farmable now. I do recommend people go out there and farm her. She is fantastic. Just because she's a surviving character does not mean we need to have lots of levels of investment. If you do have them though, it is worth building that Night Sister squad. It is a top tier meta squad at the moment. Win 10 battles with a full squad of unaligned Force users. Those of you that are lucky enough to have Supreme Leader Kylo Ren already unlocked, that will be relatively easy because you can already use characters like Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, Kylo Ren Unmasked. You'll be able to use characters like Malicos. You'll be able to use characters like Starkiller. You'll be able to use characters like Mara Jade. Plenty of options available for you. They don't all have to be Darkseid. You know, Rey. All versions of Rey as unaligned Force users. You know who I mean. Ben Solo. He'll be able to join that team as well. Lots of options for unaligned Force users. Then we've got attempt to inflict armor shred 30 times. This one has appeared in the past. Little bit frustrating because there are many sources of armor shred. Characters like Gas, characters like Cam, characters like Sabine Wren, characters like Moff Gideon, Balin even, but nothing really does an AoE armor shred. Now I'm sure we'll be able to find a solution for this, be it with Droidekas, be it with Kylo Ren Unmasked, be it with anybody that's got repeatable summoning units, but it does take a little bit of time. Thankfully, we do have a feat later on for globals where we need to use deployable cooling system, and we can use that to our advantage to try and get more armor shreds per round. This one is going to suck a little bit. Next up, mid-sector bosses. We need to defeat an enemy with Shin Hati. Just like the previous sector, yes, she is a brand new character. She does decent damage though, and you'll need investment in her to get Balin's Skull regardless. Unfortunately, she is Darkseid, so we can't take advantage of JML, but if we have got data discs like Amplify Agony, Volatile Accelerator, and that sort of thing, I'm confident we'll be able to defeat an enemy with Shin. Then we need to win with a full squad of Night Sisters. You can double this up with the battles with Great Mother surviving if you've got solid Night Sisters. Failing that, the Night Sisters with Merrin are actually an incredibly strong unit in Conquest, team in general in Conquest, so this shouldn't be too bad. On the boss node, we need to defeat an enemy with Ezra Bridger Exile. This is last Conquest's unit. He is phenomenal. He is a light side and he is a Jedi, so if you don't have the gear invested in him, you will be able to use JML in order to get that kill very easily with him. If you do have the investment with him, I don't think you're going to have any problems trying to get this guy to kill a unit. Next up, we need to win with a full squad of mercenaries. As we've been over before, many of the bounty hunters have got that mercenary tag. I'm sure we'll be able to figure out a strong team to get this one done. On to Sector 3. Sector 3 is worth 52 keycards in total. Starting off, we need to inflict stun 50 times. This is very easily done with Jedi. If you've got the likes of Ayla Secura, any level of gear, she can always stun on her basic. Han Solo can stun on basic, Jedi Knight Luke can do mass stuns, Jedi Knight Revan can do stuns, Bastila Shan can do stuns, Grandmaster Yoda can do stuns. Lots and lots of options available to us. Even Emperor Palpatine with Mara Jade will be able to get boatloads of stuns out. This will be a very easy feat to get done. Win 10 battles without a leader. This is annoying and frustrating more than anything. These are worth 10 data keycards each, so it could take us some time to get there, but usual options include the likes of maybe using a Wat Tambor lead or a Malak lead or anything of that sort, and we should be able to get something working here. Next up, we need to get 10 battles with Death Trooper Peridia surviving. Again, could be a little bit annoying, especially if you're trying to do that with the other no leadership feat, but I am very confident that we'll be able to figure something out for this. Then finally, we need to attempt to inflict accuracy down 50 times. This is actually very easy by using the likes of Cad Bane under a Jabba the Hutt team. He does it on his basic, so lots of mass assists there. He'll be using his basic lots of times, inflicting that accuracy down. It's also available on characters like Afra, also available on 8th Brother in the Inquisitorius, Padawan Obi-Wan, of course, with his Omicron, still don't recommend it, and our lovely Scout Trooper and 7th Sister. So we have quite a lot of options for accuracy down, should be able to get this one done without too many issues. Mid-sector boss then, we need to win with Morgan Elsbeth surviving. If you have Great Mothers built up, this will be very, very easy. If not, we're going to have to resort to some shenaniganry, most likely by using stuff like Bam, Han, and Chewie to get an immediate amount of damage out on the field. Then we need to kill an enemy with a mercenary unit. Thinking back to that Bam, Han, Chewie setup, we should be able to double bubble the mid-sector boss. Bam is a mercenary, so it should be able to get at least one kill in this battle by using Whistling Birds. Dash, Han, and Chewie, Dash is a mercenary as well himself, so you could go Bam lead with Dash, Han, Chewie, and then throw Morgan Elsbeth to get all the key cards in this mid-sector boss in one fight. End boss feat then, we need to win with Padawan Sabine Wren in the squad. Note she does not have to survive, so 0 level of investment is required for this. Just take her in and win, and then we need to win with only dark side characters. Plenty of options available for that. Sector 4 feats then, 54 key cards in total. Speed down 50 times. Yes, it's a lot of actual uses, but there are loads of characters that do speed down. Bastila Shan Fallen does it with her AoE Fear. When it expires, that's speed down to all the enemies. You've got it with Baze. Baze does it on a basic, so if you're using teams like Mon Mothma that do lots of mass assists, you'll be able to rip through this speed down very, very quickly. Again, it doesn't even have to land. You just have to attempt to land it. Gungans, characters like Boss Nass, Fives applies it, Cal Kestis applies it, Cassian Andor applies it, and can then multiply those applications after he does his grenade and his shot. CLS does it on a basic. Loads and loads of options for speed down. Next up, we need to win with 10 battles with Night Trooper and Enoch. They do not need to survive, so you can just have those guys in there and then throw them under a strong team that will be able to pull you through the rest of the battle. Next, we need to win with 10 battles with Shin Hati. She needs to survive, though. You can try and throw in a very strong GL-led team, potentially, with Night Trooper and Enoch, and then have her there as well. If you've got enough damage output, you could double bubble these feats potentially. We'll see when we get there. Then we need to win at least 10 battles without losing a unit. So potentially Sector 4 could be the easiest if you have a deep and large roster with the right data disk setup, because 3 of these feats you could potentially just work on all at once, potentially even all 4 of these as you go through. We will find a team that will get all of these things at one time. Alright, moving on then. The mid-sector boss we need to win without using any Jedi, Sith, or unaligned Force users. Typically speaking, Jabba the Hutt is great for this. If you don't have Jabba the Hutt, the likes of General Grievous does very, very well here. And then we need to defeat an enemy with any version of Kylo Ren. Okay, any version of Kylo Ren will do. I missed off the Y there, I do apologize. Any version of Kylo Ren will get this sorted, so Slacker, Crew, and the OG Kylo. Ben Solo won't count for this, guys. He won't, unfortunately. Onto the boss node then, we need to win with Hu Yang surviving. Hu Yang is of course releasing today, so that's going to be a little bit tricky, but hopefully the node isn't too hard, and we can throw in a bunch of heavy hitting characters to try and win the fight very quickly. Then we need to win with a full squad of unaligned Force users. Can't do that with Hu Yang, but you'll certainly be able to do it with the likes of Rey. Maybe you'll be able to do it with a Seer team if you do not have that. Moving on to Sector 5. Sector 5 feats then, first and foremost, we need to gain critical damage up 50 times. This one really isn't so bad, ladies and gentlemen. First thing off the top of my head is I'm thinking Han Solo, his second special, passes entire allies uses of critical damage up for 2 turns. If you throw in Grandmaster Yoda, you'll be able to spread those buffs again to your entire team. Should be able to get that one done very, very quickly. There are other characters that can do it. Commander Ahsoka Tano can pass it to her ally, so you can use that to pass a turn over to Grandmaster Yoda. He can then spread it to the whole team. Lots of options available for us there. Win 10 battles with full Imperial Remnants. That's not too bad. The Imperial Remnant faction is very good. You've got characters like Dark Trooper Moff Gideon, or you've got Captain Enoch squads. They can both make really solid movements here. Win 10 battles with Great Mother and Morgan Elsbeth surviving. This is going to be a little bit tricky for you if you do not have any level of investment in the Great Mothers. However, I am very confident that if we've got Amplify Agony and Volatile Accelerated data disk setups, even low gears on your Great Mothers and Morgan Elsbeth team will make this work. Full squad of Night Sisters, she takes a turn at the start, does that doomed, it can potentially defeat an enemy immediately, and you can almost entirely turn me to loop there. Next up, we need to evade at least 100 attacks in battles that we've won. We can abuse this with Hermit Yoda. We can also abuse this with Evasion Mastery characters under Rey against turn meter gaining enemy teams. That one will be very, very easy. Grandmaster Yoda is also very good at that, passing a lot of foresight. You do need to win the battle in order for it to trigger, though. Next up, we've got the mid-sector boss. Now, we need to win without using any attackers. As we have previously established, teams like Imperial Troopers, for example, without using Dark Trooper will get you those no attacker squads. Teams under Jedi Master Luke Skywalker with no attackers can get you very easy ways of not using attackers. Then it's win with Shin Hati surviving. You could probably get a mercenary team together to make this work, if not anything that has upfront damage at the start of battle. Then, at the end boss, we need to win with only light side characters. Plenty of options available to you there. Everybody should be able to get that one done. Very dependent on what the boss is, of course. And we need to win with Balin's Skull. That one is very, very exclusive right now and is worth 5 data discs in itself. Only those characters that unlocked Balin's Skull as part of their recent Epic Confrontation event will be able to get this one done. We can't really do much about that. I'm sorry, guys. And finally then, our global feats, 92 keycards in total here. First of all, we've got a section of them that give you 15 keycards each. First is defeat 250 enemies on the challenge path. That is the gold path that everybody should be going along for the majority of Conquest anyway, because it gives you the best opportunity to get the best data discs in the game. So you'll get this one organically just by playing. Win 15 battles with both Marok and Shin in your squad. They do not need to survive, so we'll be able to clean this up right at the end no matter what, by going on bonus nodes in Sector 1 for additional data discs, or by going in Sector 3 or 4 bonus nodes in order to earn additional data disc rewards there, Datacron rewards, not data disc rewards, to try and sort of boost your stores of Datacrons. Next, we've got attempt to inflict critical chance down 100 times. Grand Moff Tarkin is actually able to do this as an AoE to all enemies, so throwing him in like an EP team will probably be able to loop quite a lot of turn meter thanks to all the debuffs, pair it maybe with deployable cooling systems to get it done, but a number of other characters can also get this done. OG Cal Kestis being another one of those characters that can do it. I believe some of the Jawas can do it. I don't think that this is going to be too much of a problem going up against a crew node. With Grand Moff Tarkin, who's a very easy, old, accessible player, you would be able to get this done in probably 1 battle, so not too bad. 15 battles with a full squad of unaligned Force users, plenty of those. Oh, sorry, it's dark side unaligned Force users. There are a number of these still. You can go in with like a slacker team. Obviously, you'll have to make sure that if you take the 3 original Kylos, they're all unaligned Force users. You might want to throw in people like Malgus. You might want to throw in people like Mara Jade, for example, Starkiller, for example, that sort of thing. Not Malgus, sorry, Malicos, apologies. There will be a number of teams that we can get this done with. Then we've got remove turn meter 60 times with War of Attrition. Now, in order to get War of Attrition, you need to win 15 battles with full Night Sisters. After that, just throw that one on there. Whenever debuffs are expiring from the enemy team, it's going to trigger that turn meter removal. War of Attrition, quite a nice epic data disc. It does cost 4 dots to throw that on though, so I recommend doing it at the end when you've finished all your other feats. Then it's complete the battle with deployable cooling systems active. That is a consumable that you'll get from winning 15 battles with a full squad of Galactic Republic. Getting a full squad of Galactic Republic to win battles is possibly one of the easiest things you can do. There are so many good teams that are full Galactic Republic. I'm talking about Queen Amidala, I'm talking about JMK, I'm talking about Gas, I'm talking about Bad Batch, I'm talking about 501st. There's so many, guys. There are so many really solid Galactic Republic teams. This should not be an issue in the slightest to get that deployable cooling systems. I will have, obviously, full guides going over how to cheese as many of these feats as possible in the most accessible way as possible. So stay tuned for that. It will be starting on Monday, and I will try to get my guides out as quickly as possible. But for now, guys, let me know in the comment section down below, how do you feel about these feats? And are you excited to get Dark Side Vision Rey? I know I am. She looks absolutely sick. Make sure you leave a like and a subscribe if you haven't already. A huge shout out to my patrons. You guys are the business. And I will see you all in the very next video. Peace out. And may the Force be with you.